All set. Welcome, everyone, to the February 27th Board of Selectmen's meeting. Could you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I was going to say we got a short agenda, but last time we said that it took forever, so I'm not going to say it. First thing on the agenda tonight, we have modifications to the internal fiscal control policy. There are a couple things I brought forward that need to be corrected. One would be in the name of it. It says down later in the body that it'll be called the internal fiscal control policy, cash policy. Oh, so we'll go with cash in there. Okay.
And then, if you go under section 2.2,
Yep.
I've talked to the treasurer and she'd like it deposits no later dropped off in the town clerk's office no later than 12 as opposed to 2.
12 or 12:30. I know
She
when I
told
talk.
me 12.
Okay, that's fine. I talked to say 12:30, but 12 is fine too. As long as you guys have no issues with it.
No,
Andy?
no,
No?
I'm good.
All right, can I have a motion to accept the amended internal fiscal controls cash policy?
Yeah, I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair, to accept the revised internal fiscal control policy, cash receipts policy as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Do we have a fire? We do. You're supposed to have a grant for me or us?
Yes, you should have the paperwork already.
Okay,
Oh,
right
okay,
here.
that's over here. And you're gonna come explain to us?
Yeah. This grant from New Hampshire Homeland Security
Yep.
to provide EMS and alarm zone equipment to the fire department. That consists of ballistic vests, helmets, and medical supplies to be used in active shooter or high threat situations. That's a no match grant, so it's totally funded by them. And once the grant's completed, we have a year to do training with local police department and the tactical teams as well as the fire academy.
So it says here we've already been awarded?
We've been awarded it.
Yeah, $5,825.
Yep. It's enough to equip 4 people, so 2 for each engine. If you wanted to see one, the police chief brought one in.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
yeah, I would actually.
So obviously it won't have all the fun toys in front of it. But
Right,
it's very similar to this.
okay.
Ballistic plate in the front, ballistic plate in the back. Theirs will have a cross on it and red or black. You guys are doing black?
Yep.
Well, with the cross on it instead of the police. Obviously.
And instead of the ammunition and stuff, we carry a big pouch with medical supplies
Huh.
to do a point of injury treatment and get them out of there.
Sad to think that
Yeah, I know.
our rescuers have to wear such equipment like
Well,
that.
normally we wouldn't let our rescuers come into a warm zone. Rescuers would stay completely out until we completely shut down and clear the entire scene. What we found is that, through research, is that if we can get the rescuers into a warm zone with protection, we can treat and get people, their life safety is a lot better.
It's done in conjunction with the police department. It's
Right.
not just us running amok and
Well, that's a good thing.
flying into things. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It's in conjunction with the officers.
And the
Yeah.
training will be done by Sergeant Favorite. He's already
Mhm.
trained and certified in it, plus he's one of our members of the SWAT team.
That's
Great.
why I was gonna ask you if it was connected, linked somehow to the SWAT
It is.
team.
Most of the training will be connected.
The only other towns I know of that have implemented this is Newmarket and Bedford, with others putting into the same grant.
Okay,
So, you know, a motion for that?
yeah, I need a motion for that. I do have a question. It says signature of authorized official, but there's already a signature on it.
There should be another one for you, guys, or fiscal agent card.
Keep going.
Is there initials?
There's a spot for the fire chief, and there should be another one.
Okay, this here?
I think that's it.
Okay, so these blue ones up here mean nothing then, to me anyways.
Well,
I need a, I need your pen, I get a pen. I need a motion to accept and to authorize chair to sign.
Okay, I'll make that motion to accept the warm zone equipment no match grant and have the chair sign it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll sign it if you can fill out the rest of it.
okay.
That we just won't waste a bitch time.
I wanna thank Nick for all his hard work on, all the grants that he's gotten the town of Milton. Or whoever down at the fire station, I'm sure it's Nick. I can't thank him enough for all his hard work.
Here's a clap for Nick. Thank you.
No, we don't have a financial officer.
We have Joanne.
Okay, so I did sign the financial officer now.
She's in, she'll be in on Friday, I can have her sign it if we
Okay.
wanna wait, I don't know if we have to. Lieutenant,
Yes.
how quickly do these have to be turned in?
We have another week to turn in the paperwork.
Because we have a slot in the financial officer, and
Joanne will be in on Friday, is it okay to
That
hold?
should be fine.
Okay.
I did sign one spot where it says financial officer, she'll have to,
Oh, that's what to sign above it.
yeah, right there, so it's. And there's a paper clip here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. At the deliberative session, there were some amendments made to our warrant articles, a couple of them. And I think it was just the budget and the European NIAID, if I remember correctly.
Right,
So we just have to make a motion to either recommend or not recommend those, the
the amendment,
amendments.
right. Just the amendments of the entire budget. And
Just,
increased by what, $5,000 for the European NIAID
yeah,
for a
well,
total of
yeah,
10.
the warrant article, we have to do each warrant article to recommend or not recommend. And that decreased by $1,500 on the budget itself to a new number of $4,383,752,
I thought it was
720.
4,333,900. The what,
Can you check this number and make sure it's not there? It's already gone into the
So I've got a 4,383,725.64.
I have a copy of the amendment on the ballot itself.
You do?
Want to see it?
Yeah.
All right, please.
I have this 4383, 725.64.
that was after the $1,500 was taken out, right?
Yeah.
So I remember it was like 4,339,900.
Well, it
That's
says
this,
it right
yeah.
here.
Yeah, 4,339,900.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
You're resetting it.
No, I am sorry. What I was reading was the
That's the
default
number.
number.
Oh,
yeah, that's the default, that's the
I,
operating budget.
thank you, Mike, for catching that. So we have a new operating budget of $4,333,900 for,
And then the default is 4 million.
yeah, and the default is $4,383,725.64. My mistake. So I need a motion to recommend or not recommend.
I make a motion to recommend the new budget at $333,900.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the other one was,
The increase.
you wanna tell,
of-
yeah, you wanna tell it,
The
they
increase for the European NIAID from $5,000 to $10,000.
yep,
I'll make a motion to recommend the increase of $5,000 for a total of $10,000 to combat the European NIAID.
I will second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And
I'll sign this one.
what's that?
I'll sign this one with the changes.
Sorry, Michelle,
It's okay.
I was reading the default number. Thank
Thank you.
you. Okay, up next, we have approval of the minutes.
Take your both clause and
Yeah.
recommend.
Yep.
Any changes?
I didn't see any.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for February 26, 2017 as written.
February sixth,
What did I say?
26.
Oh, thank you.
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have a copy of the press to sign? It doesn't say draft on it.
I don't know one that doesn't say draft. Want to just sign it?
How would that work if we sign one that says draft? It should not say draft, it'd be official minutes, correct?
It doesn't matter. if I heard it.
You referring to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Doesn't make a difference
It
to
doesn't
me, it's a
make a
record
difference.
is a record.
Okay, I just want to make sure. You're the keeper of the minutes, so I just want to make sure.
It's in the- Which one do you have there?
Okay,
We don't have one that doesn't say draft though?
no, we don't.
There's the next one.
Okay, next one is January 23rd.
And how do you know that you've made a change and that it's been corrected? I mean, if it always says draft on it.
It usually doesn't, for whatever reason.
Okay.
Today, it says draft on it.
Okay, next one. Again, you fellows have read the January 23rd minutes?
Yes, I
No
have.
changes?
Nope.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the January 23rd, 2017 meeting minutes as written.
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does that mean the battery's getting low on that?
What is that?
That's the,
The defibrillator?
yeah.
Oops, I'm like, does that do, I mean, during lunch, did you notice?
I didn't even change it.
Okay, up next, expenditure reports. Questions, comments? The only thing I noticed, and I think I know the answer to this, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, is it shows remaining as a negative number. That's because there has been no budget put in yet.
Right.
Okay, so we're still working off them.
Actually, we can't.
Hmm?
We can't put the budget in until it's approved.
Correct,
Oh, yeah, so it's voted on.
yeah.
So it has to be
Yeah.
approved and voted on one
Right.
way or the other.
Yep. Okay, Any questions, guys, on that?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Selectmen comments, Andy?
Geez, all right. I really, don't really have anything. I was just on vacation last week, so, don't, I'm all set, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
me neither.
okay. I've got, oh,
I'm gonna selectman, can I make full comments?
we don't have down the administrative comments. Where did that go to?
It disappeared.
All right, I'll put you in right now, then I'll do mine. So go ahead. Sorry about that. I don't know why it didn't make the agenda.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the auditors are coming the week of March 27th for the first visit, and then they're gonna come for multiple days on April 10th for the week. So if anybody would like to be around or meet with them. We have a personnel policy department head meeting on April 10th. And the people who are supposed to take over payroll are coming the week of, are coming on March 20th to meet with us. And I also want to thank everybody who was sympathetic and supportive when I had my little slip and fall. So,
You fell?
yeah.
Oh.
Can you repeat the date for the personnel policy?
Remember we did, with the 10th of March.
Okay, I thought I heard something different, I'm sorry.
Maybe I said April, but it was the 10th. We're gonna have lunch and talk about the fire station.
About the new fire station or the old fire station?
No, we're meeting at the new fire station.
Meeting
Oh, you're
at the
meeting
station.
at the new fire.
That's-
Now, we mentioned fire station, have we got any,
The gentleman, I think his name is Mr. White, who was working on the old fire station, I know he contacted Kathy and I haven't heard back.
okay, let's start.
It's a start.
Okay, let's scratch that. Anything else?
I'm done.
Okay. I got a few things that I really hate to get into, but we have to. I was asked by a resident to bring this one up. It's got to do with the accusation you made on Facebook, Mike, toward a budget committee member.
Yeah.
And, you know, something like that has potential of putting this town in a liable situation, because you're accusing somebody of doing something basically dishonest. And the person that got a hold of me had come up with suggestions, and quite frankly, she sent me an email that she says, you think you should apologize to the budget committee for that thing and retract your statement. So, I mean, I can't make you, I mean, just, I think something like that. We gotta be extremely careful when we get on social media what we say. Because a lot of these things that I'm seeing out there can put this town in a jeopardy of being sued.
Okay, I'll take it into consideration.
Okay, thank you. And it's gonna seem like I'm picking on you, Mike, I'm not, it's just, this thing is piling up. The last one is an iWork thing. And I'm gonna read this RSA 49D. It's non-interference by elected body. The elected body shall act in all matters as a body and shall not seek individually to influence the official acts of the chief administrative officer or any other official, or to direct or request, except in writing, the appointment of any person to or his removal from office, or to interfere in any way with the performance of such officers of their duties. Any member violating the provisions of this section as determined through procedures established in the charter shall, and we don't have a charter, but shall forfeit his office. I've had complaints come to me that, you know, you're in here almost every day and it's interfering with the town administrator doing her job. Just by basically, I'm not saying undermining her authority, but just kind of being visible too much to employees. I know my first year I did it, and it's a bad habit to get into because the employees run to you instead of going to where they should. So it basically is undermining her authority. It doesn't allow her to establish a working relationship with the people in the office. So that goes there. We already talked about the credit card thing. And also another thing that God, I hate doing this, I've been hearing is that you've been going around telling people, not office personnel only, but employees, that you're the boss. Just gotta keep in mind, none of us are a boss.
Right.
So, you know, we're individually, none of us are a boss.
No, but as a board we are.
As a board, indirectly, the immediate boss in the public works is Pat.
Actually,
Police,
the boss of the voters of this town.
that's absolutely correct. So anyways, I just want to bring that up, and I didn't want to, but it had to be said. The last thing I got, nothing to do with you,
Good.
is, did you ever hear from Ty Pedley for iWork? He's been trying to reach you, he said it again, and he wants to set up iWork is the program to.
You deal with them.
Yeah.
Pat works with them.
If you wanna get with Sean, she can call the contact and you can see if they got what you're looking for to set up into our.
Well, I know this guy Ty Pedley contacted me a while back, and he wants to talk to the code enforcement, town administrator, whoever, and do an online, I don't want to say interview, but demonstration of what they can do for planning and code and how they can track everything.
So it should be a day when Brian's here.
Yes,
Okay.
I think you have his contact information. If not, let me know. I
I
can
can
get
send
it.
Sean down to your office and she can probably log on to the site right on your computer so you guys can look at it right in there. It's just like a web
Okay.
thing, yeah. As long as she has her username and login, she can get into it.
I think that's something we can work with, but I wanna do it when Brian's here.
Yeah, no, you should, absolutely. Brian, you need Brian's input on this, because it's gonna affect him more than anybody else probably, if it's something that sounds feasible. And I know you've got good luck with it down there, correct?
Yep, I have, maintenance for all the vehicles and I now have, fuel, so I can track fuel.
Okay. All right, that's it for me. Public comments? Mr. Smith?
Yes, I'd like to announce that on April 22nd will be the annual Earth Day cleanup, which is a Saturday. Any volunteers would be helpful. We will get bags from New Hampshire the Beautiful. They're free. There'll be blue bags that we'll hand out. And there'll be a cookout at noon following the 3-hour cleanup period.
So what time does this begin?
It's
At
at 9 o'clock to 12.
I was gonna say 11:45 to 12?
Yeah, for you.
Cookout at 12?
9 to 12, and then at 12, I'll have hot dogs and drinks and stuff at the highway barn.
Okay,
The other thing that I have is I've posted all of our roads, 8 ton, due to the warm weather that we've
Right.
been having.
right,
So just be aware that they're up.
okay. And I did get a call the other day, I got a call back. Remember I called you on the road on Charles Street?
Yep.
Yeah, 37 Charles Street, water coming through. I did call the water precinct, Stan went and looked at it, and he said it's just normal melt. That's when the guy steps on the edge of the pavement, it
Yep.
pushes through, so. Nothing we can do, springtime.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody else, public comments? Chief?
Can the board just speak to some of the things that were brought up about the CIP at the deliberative session? The fact that we've met all the standards of the CIP?
Yeah, a question arose at the deliberative session about not meeting the standards and not, got my glasses on, I take them off, it gets blurry, so I gotta put them back on, I guess. That the board did not meet all the criteria by relaying back to the planning board, which is not the case. Bruce Woodruff, who has been very active in the CIP, has contacted the person who had, and I don't want to use the word complaint, that brought that up. So he has contacted him. I saw the email go through. I haven't heard any more back, so I think that question has been answered. That we have, basically what happened is the planning board met. Well, first off, the department has met, devised the CIP. The planning board met, ranked and rated all the projects, gave the Board of Selectmen the chart on their ranks, and I'm giving you a Reader's Digest version. Gave the Board of Selectmen what they recommended, where they ranked and rated all the findings. And then it was up to the board to decide whether we wanted to fund them. I think we fund them all except for the library elevator, if I remember correctly.
You funded one more than the planning board suggested, yes.
Yeah, so, and that information was relayed back to the planning board, and that's what we have on the warrant article. Okay. Thanks, Chief. Anyone else? Mr. Brown? I'm sorry, wait, before you go, let this lovely lady speak first.
Please. Oh, I may not like this. I don't understand about airing private things about our things that are said and everything with the selectmen board out publicly, especially if somebody accuses somebody of something else and only the selectman's name or it's pointed at him. I never hear anything from the police department, from the fire department of complaints and stuff, but to do it at a board meeting, is that appropriate?
Yes.
It is?
And the
I
only
don't
reason
know.
being, as elected officials, we do not have the luxury or the privilege of having non-publics. Everything has to be brought out in the open.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Then why isn't the person that said this here to say it?
That's a very good question. That's happened more than once.
Because that doesn't seem fair. To me, that's hearsay then.
Well, no, it's not hearsay, because I mean, I've got it, I've seen it, I've read it, and
Okay.
it wasn't said. But it's just, I'm just cautioning that things like that can get this town in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and it can go a couple of ways, That's what I worry about.
Yep. So, thank you, Lynette. Mr. Brown, now it's your turn.
Oh, thank you. Larry Brown, echo of the planning board and the CIP. The CIP is advisory, not statute,
Correct.
for its operation in the town. The CIP was established by statute, but its use is advisory, and its use is forward-looking over a six-year window, and goals will change by circumstance and
Right.
previous funding.
Yep. And it's a living document that's going to. Uh-oh, he's on page 57, so he's got more.
Uh, no. That I will not quote the 91A on the obligations of public officials.
You can if you want.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Go ahead, I want to hear this.
Well,
I don't think everyone knows that.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
okay. 91A is basically the New Hampshire right to know open governmental procedures and meetings law. It was, didn't know there was a big quiz. It had a major restatement of its purpose and reach by Joseph Foster, the Attorney General, in 2015, which noted the expansion of certain rights of discussing commercial contracts and other details in non-public. But here is what Lynette was coming toward was 91A3 non-public sessions. It's called item Roman 2 C. And it says matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. And that's why the selectmen have the nice yellow.
Yeah, that's what I can follow. I highlighted it, so I can.
And just why, you have to take any incoming fire.
Yep, exactly right.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Hey, you gotta have one more. No?
Oh, my gosh.
Anyone else? Ryan?
Brian Debo. How do I want to say this? I'm only bringing this up not to go after anybody, strictly in the hope that the Board of Selectmen and the town can move forward in a positive direction. The tension in this room right now, you could cut it with a knife.
This is a good thing.
And there was a lot of activity on Facebook last night. And I think that the board should address that.
First of all, I apologize if I'm sitting here in a zombie, more or less, because I have been up for 48 hours, so I'm quite tired, and I apologize for that. You know, what was said was said. It's how I feel. I'm not going to change how I feel. And if I've hurt anybody's feelings, I apologize, but my statement was said, and that's the way it is. And probably we do need a internet policy or a Facebook policy, or however you want to.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't work because we are not bound by policy. I mean, unfortunately, that's, and I've had this discussion with Chief Kraus, and we're not bound by policy. I just think we all need to use a little discretion. So, yes, Dennis?
First of all, thank you. Secondly, Mr. Rawson, I don't think it's so much your comments or your beliefs or your opinions, but that most people found offensive. I think it was
Dennis,
the
can you
man.
speak up? We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I said, first of all, I don't think it was his comments, beliefs, or statements that people found offensive, but the manner in which he presented them. Twice on two different accounts, once here, I mentioned this on mine, early this morning, on two different accounts, first here in this room, and secondly on Facebook, Mr. Rawson has referred to people on a first name basis, which I find highly reprehensible. There is issues of privacy and personal protection and safety, and I actually kind of agree with what you said last night, but using first names just tore me up, because it's like, don't, please don't.
Well,
You could-
I
I mean,
normally don't even go on to
I
Facebook,
understand that.
truthfully. I try to stay away from, I read the Milton homepage. I try not to interact on it, because I just try not to, but,
Well, I respect
you know,
that,
and if I use someone's name, and I apologize, because I'm not a malicious or vindictive person. I have a job to do, I intend to do it, I intend to keep doing it, and like I said, you know.
Well, the second part of my concern was, like I said, there was a meeting here on the 26th, I think it was, of last month.
Okay, yep.
That.
23rd.
There were certain issues that had to be taken care of in a public meeting. And you were presented with policy issues that you needed to deal with. Fortunately, for my own self, I had a pretty good understanding of what was happening, but for a lot of people, they did not understand what was going on. And the fact that you presented information in people's names on a first name basis, instead of referring to their title, or instead of referring to their job position, you referred to them by their first name, which put incredible, it's wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Your position may be right, but the presentation was terribly wrong.
Well,
And that's right, but are you expecting a second apology? He's already
No,
apologized. for doing it.
I'm
Well,
trying to cover his butt before he gets in trouble.
No, I'm not gonna get in trouble, because what we talked about in that meeting was discussed, it was discussed with the town administrator. So, you know, I don't know where you're going with this, but
I'm trying to,
No, I hear where Dennis is going, you know, you gotta protect people's rights. The only way you can protect their rights is by not bringing names into open meetings, into open public. And unfortunately, because it's a small town, that could even relate to bringing in jobs, job titles, or job positions, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who's doing what. But, I mean, I know where you're going, and I agree with you.
no, I do too. Yeah.
I'm
like
not
I said,
disagreeing with your position whatsoever. I
And-
think your position is fine, it's just a presentation, but you're setting yourself for a major, you really are, sir.
Andy,
No, and I appreciate that.
what website was this? Was this their website? Or was it an official
No.
website?
Both. He's addressing two things.
Yeah.
Okay, so one was an official one?
One
I
was
don't think
that,
these kind of things should go on an official one, but whatever you guys put on
I'm
yours.
talking two different issues, one being
A meeting,
Okay,
a meeting.
we don't know that, so that's why I'm trying to
It was a
understand.
recorded meeting
right
on the
here.
26th.
Okay,
Yeah,
where
23rd, I think it
happened.
was.
but you put it on both, on both the
also
official,
online.
excuse me, on the official and on your website, right?
Yes, it was two different.
Okay, why are we having this?
There's two
Why?
separate issues, what he's talking about. On the 23rd, there was a policy issue which their names mentioned, it probably shouldn't have been.
And
not
that was put
probably,
on,
they
and
should
that
have
was
been.
put on the Milton.
It's regardless of what.
No, that's,
Well, no,
It's been
it is,
recorded.
there is something to it. What I'm looking for is, where are we putting our city's official things to be said?
Right on-
Yours is a
right-
gossip. That's
No,
all
right-
it is, it's gossip and selling.
no,
Because
right,
it isn't
it's-
official, it's not official from these guys.
Lynette, it's on that recording camera, it's all recorded.
That's fine,
Yes.
that's
She's talking
fine.
about Facebook.
I'm looking for some place where these things, and the recording, that counts, is in an official place, not spread out all over everybody's internet.
Is it on our website? We're supposed to put it on our website. did we?
They have been.
Have been, so it's
Yes,
on
they
our
have.
website.
They're
as well.
linked to
Okay.
your
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay, because if you're addressing that, I don't say you should say first names and stuff, but if it's like their type of website, that's a free-for-all.
Not really, because you were still talking about positions and names of employees. If
Yeah,
you're
but
talking,
it's
if you're talking about
different.
somebody down the street, that's a different story. Employees, you know, they have rights.
But people need to come to Milton's, that's the right place to come to, is Milton's official. They're not official.
Right. No, I don't disagree, I'm just saying, it's a very slippery slope when you start throwing names out there.
Only if you start believing what you hear, instead of going to the place where it's supposed to be. And maybe people need to know that.
Well,
And I'm not trying to downgrade
no,
yours or anything like that, it's just that it's not official.
No,
It's-
it's not.
Regardless if it's official or not, it's still a town-produced video.
Yes, but if you keep putting stuff there, people are gonna start going there instead of where it's official. And
Its position remains.
what if they make a change or something?
Position remains the same on video regardless of where that video is posted.
yeah.
If he's saying different things, you know what, I won't argue
All
about
right,
this.
I'll discuss this in private.
Good discussion. Yes,
I just have a question. Did you say that the town can't have an internet policy?
no, no,
Did I
no,
misunderstand
no.
that?
Can you state your name for our recording?
I'm sorry, my name's Ed Fish.
Yep. No, I did not say that. We can. And I think we, at one point, had an internet policy. But what I'm saying is a social media policy, even if we had a social media policy adopted, it's only gonna apply to employees, because as a board, it doesn't apply to board. It doesn't apply to if a single member gets on there, wants to talk on his own behalf. So it will not apply to that.
Whether or not you're legally bound by it, it doesn't mean it's a bad idea to have guidelines.
No, I don't think it's a bad
What about
idea.
the ethical idea that it's one thing to come to a public meeting or to go to a public Town of Milton website to look at recordings of minutes. It's another thing for town board members, town employees to go to other internet sites, other social media sites, and basically present a denigrated discussion about town business, town employees. It's, okay, you say you can't have an ethical policy that applies to the board of selectmen. You can have an ethical policy that applies to employees. I'm sorry, an internet policy, I didn't mean.
Right, yeah, no, okay, yeah.
But how does that make the town look?
Thank
You
you.
know,
I'm not
the ethics-
disagreeing with you.
The ethics of, well, I can do it because the internet policy doesn't apply to me versus, no, I'll talk about this in a public meeting, or I'll talk about this on the town internet site, but I'm not gonna go out to all these other social media sites and create the atmosphere that you create in these meetings and these discussions. So that's all.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think it's a great idea to have one. I think it's a great idea to follow one, but if, I don't know how I'm gonna put this, if everybody would follow it, it'd be a wonderful thing.
Everyone doesn't have to follow it. You guys have to follow it.
Well, no, everyone.
If we have something,
Well,
you
everyone
know?
would have to follow employees. So, I mean,
They would learn to by example.
Chief, do you wanna speak to this?
If there was so any policy that's written, elected officials would not fall under that. It's no different than the code of conduct policy that the town already has. Code of conduct policy for the town says that you will not degrade anyone as an employee. It also says as elected officials. There was rulings that the elected officials, the code of conduct policies, those types of policies that you guys want, those don't fall to elected officials, because the only time the elected official has any control or power is when they're sitting where they're sitting right now.
Correct.
The second they walk out the door, they may have the elected hat as a selectman, but the second they walk out the door, they no longer have any authority to do anything within town. They cannot do any town business or anything such as that unless they're sitting in that publicly reported board. So it wouldn't fall back on that. So if you had a policy, the only people who would have to abide by that policy are the employees of the town, because those are the only people who could actually be
gotcha.
disciplined
Okay.
by it, because the board cannot be disciplined if they violate that policy. The only way the board can be disciplined by that is the residents taking them to Superior Court to have them removed from their position, should they act unethical or violate different laws.
Or not vote for them next time.
Or not vote for them next time, correct.
There's an RSA that applies to this?
There is an
There
RSA,
is,
yeah.
do you know what that RSA is?
49, is it C2?
What do you, which one are you talking about?
The 49C2, I think it is, it's the one that they can be, a board of selectmen or an elected official can be removed from their position.
Actually,
Well,
there's,
it's the RSA that.
well, there's a few
describes-
different ones. on-
Yeah, it may be 42.
I think it's 42.
Yeah.
And that describes the internet policies kind of not applying to board of selectmen.
It doesn't lock down internet policies applying to the board of selectmen.
But-
It explains how a selectman can be disciplined.
Okay.
Those are what those RSAs are for. A board of selectmen can't be disciplined as the same as an employee. So if I was to go on one of the Facebook pages and say something disparaging against another department or another employee, or even the board of selectmen, ultimately the board of selectmen can then discipline me through the process of the town's discipline schedule. But if, say, Pat, you're here, so I'm gonna use Pat, or Michelle, they're both elected officials. The people who can discipline them are the residents for not voting for them again. If the Board of Selectmen wanted to discipline either one of them, they have to take it through different avenues and have to have full cause, and then go through Superior Court to have them removed from their positions.
And this is just for elected officials?
Elected officials,
The
correct.
town could have an internet policy for town employees.
For town employees, and most departments already have some type of policy on their use of internet as an employee.
During hours of work.
Correct.
I think we actually have one.
Yeah,
We do have one on.
we
file.
do, yeah.
It applies, the same policy applies to all departments?
It applies to employees.
Yeah, employees in all departments.
Possibly, with the possible exception of police, I think his is more strict.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Great discussion. Anyone else? Comments? Public comments? Brian?
All right, I hate to go down this road again and again. I'm only bringing this up because I would like to see the Board of Selectmen move forward and the town move forward. And I just want to kind of give my thoughts on some of the recent issues that come up with the 91As that have been submitted and how it looks from sitting back here. I've been coming to meetings for a while. At times in meetings, there's been concerns where maybe things had been discussed prior to the meeting. there was the whole incident with the $500 cell phone reimbursement that then at the town deliberation was all of a sudden given back. And then shortly after that, it was stated that the only reason that was done was for legality reasons. Now the recent 91As that have been requested, it looks like there's something to hide. I'm not saying there is anything going on, I'm just saying that it's concerning as a citizen, is there something going on?
Well, our attorney advised us, on the phone stipend, before the deliberative session. He advised us that, and that's the only reason, that was the reason why it was taken out, is mainly because of him, was, once you get a stipend for your phones, the phones become property of the town of Milton. And that's why we took the stipend out. He's actually the one that, told us, advised us, yeah, to.
So I guess what I'm trying to say from the citizen sitting back here, I'm sure that was the case, but it doesn't really give the Board of Selectmen a good image. And maybe a way to resolve this problem is to release, all three of you, release your phone records to each other's number. Now, I do not think that you should have to release your full phone records and all text messages sent to everybody. I don't think you should have to. I think that's against, it's your own privacy. It's not the town's business what you're saying to other people. However, between the three, I see no issues with releasing that so it can just end that concern. And then hopefully the board can move on, the town can move on, and this won't be questioned anymore. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, well, that was one of the requests. And I've told Heather to, have 5 days, and I've told her to submit the letter, and I'm working on it. So
I guess my suggestion is all three members do that. Would all three members be on board with doing that?
I have no issue with loosening it, whatever I got. Including my private stuff, which would be bored as hell.
well, it's already a 91A on us.
Yeah, so at this point, it's kind of a.
Just a suggestion. And
No, I
again,
understand, Ron.
I'm not trying to come after anybody. All I'm trying to do is to move forward, for the whole town to move forward, and the board to move forward. And as you know, I've talked to all three of you individually. And at different times I've been told different things. And I've been told that a couple of you flat out told me that, but you don't talk about town business. So, would you like to address that?
Like I said, we have a 91A request. It will be taken care of, and we, it's a little bump in the road. We'll move forward. I love this community. That's why I'm sitting here. So, I have really. That's what it is in a nutshell.
Okay, Mike, you have any comments?
I'm sorry, I do. When are we gonna start trusting each other?
What's that?
When are we gonna start trusting each other? Everybody's voted for you guys and stuff like that. At some point, let's not make it how our government's going everywhere, no one trusts anybody. We need to start where we come to the meetings, bring other people with their objections or whatever to the meetings, and start trusting each other.
Agreed.
Whatever anyone else is feeling, drop it. Let's change it.
I totally agree with you on that.
Just my opinion.
I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
About this is that when someone puts something not very nice on Facebook, that you guys gotta remember what the repercussion is in the household. You have no idea what went on after that. No idea.
Well,
And that's
and
all.
I
I'm
apologize.
not starting anything.
I apologize, Mrs. Gray, like I've
I
already done
appreciate
once. Moving forward, my wife has had many sleepless nights of me being a selectman. Many. And, you know, we've talked about this with a few instances that's happened here. So, no, it's not fair to our personal lives that when we have to go home, and you know, it's unfortunate because you know we were voted in by the taxpayers to, you know, to run this town to the best of our abilities, and you know that's my intention. That's what it always was. So, you know,
I just say, let's stop this nonsense, and like she said before.
Yeah. I mean, this is like.
Anyone else? Mr. Brown?
Larry Brown. I did not realize where the conversation was going. My standard phrase is that I live very quietly up on the ridge.
Heard that more than once.
Heard that more than once. You will find in the records of the land use clerk my specific request to be excluded from the town email distribution list. If you go to the library, you will find that the trustees are contacted solely and only through the filter of the library director. If you were at the right to work hearing that I attended and testified at against it, you will find that each of the senators and each of the representatives there, as a statement before the hearing began, indicated whether or not under the ethical guidelines of the Senate and House, if they had a conflict of interest and the terms under which they would join the conversation. If you turn to the back pages of my notebook, you will find the oath of office where it says, "I do solemnly and sincerely swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire." And that is Chapter 31, Duties and Powers of Towns. That's Chapter 32, Municipal Budget Law, and that's Chapter 91A of the New Hampshire Right to Know statutes. If you put those together, you have no reason to be on Facebook. And I will tell you that the voters, and let me be blunt, the bonbon eaters who sit at their computer and ask the question, "Oh, I wonder if anyone's hiring at the town highway garage." The number for the town highway garage is what?
652-9891.
652-9891. That is a primary answer to some of the problems that we face. I'm sorry, I did not mean to.
No need to say you're sorry. Anyone else? Not hearing any, gonna close the public comments. Any other business? Not hearing any? Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Adjourn at
Wait, no
7.
one can leave until they smile.